Is Derrick Henry on his way to Baltimore to join your Baltimore Ravens? That is our big topic today here on this edition of Ravens Rundown, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. The folks over at DraftKings Sportsbook have their latest odds that Derrick Henry is most likely to end up in Baltimore with your Baltimore Ravens. We'll show you those odds, also what some of the experts are saying about this potential move, and break down exactly what he would bring to the Baltimore Ravens coming up on today's show. Before we get to that, though, little survey for the flock. I want to know, folks, are you a Ravens fan from the great state of Maryland? If you are, like today's video. If not, if you're a Ravens fan from anywhere throughout this great country, throughout this great land, or around the world, comment and tell us where you are watching from. Just want to do a little fan survey, gauge an idea where our audience is at. Let us know. We'll get started with today's show. So here are the odds from DraftKings Sportsbook on where Derrick Henry is likely to end up in 2024. The Ravens are heavy favorites at plus 175. The Dallas Cowboys at plus 550. Philadelphia at plus 650, Houston at plus 700, and then the team that he has been with his entire career, the Tennessee Titans, all the way back in fifth at plus 1,000, along with other teams there as well. But the Ravens, without a doubt, seem to be the clear front runners to land Henry's services. So what about Derrick Henry and Baltimore? Former Ravens quarterback Robert Griffin III, RG3, now working for ESPN, had this to say within the last couple of days. Derrick Henry plays with physicality, is relentless in his preparation, and has a clear passion to get over the hump to play for a championship. There is only one place for him to go. Derrick Henry should be a Baltimore Raven because he already plays like a Raven. Now, personally, whether it's Derrick Henry or somebody else, all signs, all indications point to that the Ravens intend to be aggressive when it comes to bringing in another running back for this Ravens offense, that this team is going to make a splash, and I would be surprised if they don't. I don't know if it's necessarily Derrick Henry, although he seems to be the favorite, but a big name of some sorts, a big bang, Darwin style, right? That's what I would expect that the Ravens do when it comes to addressing this running back position in 2024. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN saying the same thing. Some personnel, and this is around the league, by the way, people inside the league, believe the Ravens will target a running back with a pedigree in free agency. And pedigree as in a good track record, not somebody with pedigree dog food from Walmart. Here is a look at the free agent running back options out there this offseason. It's a very good class. The likes that include Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard, Austin Eckler, DeAndre Swift, Zach Moss. Oh, yeah, there's J.K. Dobbins. I can tell you this much. J.K. Dobbins, he ain't coming back. The Ravens aren't doing that mistake again. Devin Singletary, Antonio Gibson also on the list as well. So, let's ask you, Derrick Henry, should the Ravens sign him and bring him to town? Weigh in on our pinned comment today. Let us know what you think. Y for yes, in for no, if the Ravens should sign Derrick Henry or not. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. You choose 2 or more players on any given category. Get the choice of more or less, whether you're talking fantasy points, maybe it's yardage, maybe it's points in a basketball game. You can do all sorts of different leagues as well, from the NBA, NHL, NFL, MLB, maybe a weekend sport like golf or NASCAR, whatever it is. I'm looking ahead to the start of the Major League Baseball season, rolling with Grayson Rodriguez of your Baltimore Orioles to have more than 180.5 strikeouts this season. Also going with Julio Rodriguez of the Seattle Mariners to have more than 168.5 hits this season. Let's say I put $20 down both those hits. Then we're making $60 on Prize Picks. Play along with me. PrizePicks.com/SailItS. Promo code SailItS for a $100 deposit match on your first entry. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, proud partner of Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. Glad to have them on board on today's show. If you're looking for a running back with pedigree, you're not going to find one better than Derrick Henry, a 4-time Pro Bowler. He's led the league in rushing and in rushing touchdowns, not once, but twice, in 2019 and in 2020, and was also named the NFL's Offensive Player of the Year back in 2020. And the question that is going to be asked about Derrick Henry, and really any veteran running back you look at, is how much tread is left on the tires? How much does he have left in the tank? And last year, the Tennessee Titans were not anything to write home about, right? And yet Derrick Henry, even with facing teams that were putting 8 and 9 in the box all the time, still had a very impressive campaign in 2023 with over 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns, over 4 yards a carry. Maybe it wasn't what he did in 2022, but he was still very, very good. And when I think about as far as his role with the Baltimore Ravens goes, the only running back we know for certain that the Baltimore Ravens are going to bring back in 2024 is Keaton Mitchell, the undrafted free agent out of East Carolina who was outstanding for this Ravens team before he got hurt. You pair up Henry with Mitchell, and all of a sudden you're cooking with bacon grease here, folks. You got a thunder and lightning combination that would be as lethal and as good of a duo as any backfield in the National Football League. They would dominate together and complement each other at the same time. You look at the statistics from the Ravens' run game last year, okay? I think that Todd Monken still wants to see Lamar run the ball less. Last year still ran for over 800 yards, so somebody's got to pick up that load, right? Gus Edwards potentially gone. You got to replace that. And then Justice Hill and Melvin Gordon here. There's a lot of the slack, a lot of the load to pick up for this Ravens team. And you could expect that Keaton Mitchell and Derrick Henry would hear their names called a lot, that they would both play a significant role in this Ravens rushing attack. The Ravens backfield, let's tell you about kind of the situation that the contracts are in right now. J.K. is a free agent. He is all but sure thing gone at this point. Keaton Mitchell's under contract. He is all but a sure thing back. Gus Edwards, a free agent. I would guess more likely than not he's gone, but there's some good value because Gus isn't going to cost you too much. It's still a possibility to bring him back. Justice Hill is under contract, but he might end up being a cap casualty of sorts. Dalvin Cook, that didn't really work for the playoff run you tried to bring him for. And then Patrick Ricard, the best fullback in the National Football League, he's under contract as well. Think about this, okay? This Baltimore Ravens team in 2023 was one win away from playing for a Super Bowl and against a team they had dominated earlier in the season, right? Only a couple weeks prior. The Ravens were very, very close to a Super Bowl title. And if you're the Baltimore Ravens and you're trying to think about, all right, what do we need to do to not just get back there, but get over the hump? Adding a guy like Derrick Henry to this offense, I think, is a benefit for both sides because he's what you need for this offense to take this next step and to get over the hump and win that AFC and potentially get to the Super Bowl and all that. But Derrick Henry has made his intentions very clear that his future, what he's looking for his next team, it's not necessarily about the Benjamins, which the Ravens are probably not going to have the most money to offer, if we're going to be quite frank, because of the cap situation they're in. But the Ravens offer the best opportunity for Derrick Henry to go compete at a championship level and to play a significant role. And you go back to an interview that Derrick Henry did with the Bussin' with the Boys podcast with Taylor Lewan and Will Compton. Great show. He put it very simple. Listen to this from Derrick Henry. I want to win a Super Bowl. I ain't done playing. I ain't even close to done playing. To put it simply, Henry could be the missing piece that this Ravens team is looking for. They are close, but there's work to be done. Henry could be just that. Speaking of finding that missing piece, what is the biggest need for this Baltimore Ravens team this offseason that they need to address? Is it getting a feature back like Derrick Henry, or is it something else out there? Weigh in the comment section. Let us know what you think. If you enjoyed today's show, like the video. We certainly would appreciate it. We'll see if Derrick Henry ends up in Baltimore or not. We'll continue to follow it throughout the entire offseason here on the channel. Subscribe now. We'll see you next time.